What's up, Wrestlingverse family? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, smash that subscribe button because today we're diving into one of the biggest breaking stories in WWE right now. Seth Rollins, the visionary, the revolutionary, one of the most resilient performers in WWE history. But right now, he's facing a battle that even his incredible willpower might not be able to overcome. We're talking about a potential career-altering injury that has the entire WWE universe on edge. Is Seth Rollins being forced to relinquish his championship? What's the real status of his surgery? And what does this mean for the future of WWE? We're breaking it all down right here, right now. But before we get into it, hit that like button, drop a comment below with your thoughts, and let's get into this. Let's rewind and look at how we got here, because Seth Rollins has been wrestling through pain for longer than most fans realize. This isn't just a recent development. This is the story of a warrior who's been pushing his body to the absolute limit. Throughout the past year, Seth has been dealing with what insiders are calling a significant back injury. We're talking about issues that would sideline most wrestlers immediately. But not Seth Rollins. No, the visionary kept showing up, kept performing at the highest level, and kept delivering main event matches week after week. Think about some of the brutal matches he's been through recently. The wars with Drew McIntyre. The intense battles with CM Punk. Every single time he stepped through those ropes, he was putting his body on the line while dealing with this injury. That's the mark of a true professional, but it's also incredibly dangerous. Medical experts have been weighing in, and the consensus is clear. Seth has been performing with what could be multiple herniated discs in his lower back. For those who don't know, that means the cushioning between his vertebrae has been damaged, causing nerve pain, weakness, and potentially permanent damage if left untreated. The WWE medical team has reportedly been monitoring the situation closely. Sources backstage have indicated that Seth has been receiving regular treatment, including epidural injections, just to manage the pain enough to perform. That's not a long-term solution. That's a band-aid on a wound that needs surgery. What's even more impressive, and honestly concerning, is that Seth never once complained publicly. He showed up to every show, cut incredible promos, and delivered in the ring like nothing was wrong. But behind the scenes, the reality was much different. Now, here's where things get really serious. According to multiple reports from reputable wrestling journalists, Seth Rollins is now facing a critical decision point. The injury has progressed to the stage where surgery is no longer optional, it's necessary. We're hearing that WE's medical team, along with independent specialists that Seth has consulted, have all recommended the same course of action: a surgical procedure to address the damaged discs in his back. This isn't a minor procedure we're talking about. This is major spinal surgery that could require months of recovery and rehabilitation. The big question everyone's asking: what does this mean for his championship status? If Seth is currently holding a title, WWE has a massive problem on their hands. You can't have a champion who's going to be out of action for 6 months or more. That's where the speculation about relinquishing the title comes into play. Historically, WWE has handled these situations in different ways. Sometimes they'll have the injured champion appear on television to formally vacate the title in an emotional segment. Other times, they'll write the injury into storyline and have someone injure the champion to take them off TV. Whatever route they choose with Seth, it's going to have major implications for whatever brand he's on. But here's what makes this situation even more complex. Seth Rollins is not just any wrestler. He's a cornerstone of WWE programming. He's someone who can be plugged into any storyline and make it work. He's a proven draw, a merchandise mover, and someone the company relies on heavily. Losing him for an extended period isn't just about one title or one storyline, it affects the entire landscape of WWE television. There are also financial considerations at play. Seth is one of the highest paid performers on the roster, and WWE is going to want to ensure their investment is protected. That means making sure he gets the best possible medical care and doesn't rush back before he's fully healed. The wrestling business has changed a lot in recent years. Companies are much more careful about wrestler health and safety, and that's a good thing. But it also means that when a situation like this arises, they have to make the tough call, and it looks like that call is being made right now. Let's talk about the reality of what Seth is facing if he does undergo this surgery. I've been researching this extensively, and I've consulted with medical professionals who work with athletes to get a realistic picture of what recovery from spinal surgery looks like. First, the surgery itself typically takes several hours. Surgeons will need to access the damaged area of Seth's spine, remove the damaged disc material that's pressing on nerves, and potentially fuse vertebrae together for stability. It's delicate work that requires incredible precision. Immediately after surgery, Seth would spend a few days in the hospital for monitoring. Then comes the real challenge: rehabilitation. For the first several weeks, he'd be limited to very basic activities. We're talking walking, light stretching, nothing more. His entire core and back would need time to heal before any serious physical therapy could begin. Around the 6 to 8 week mark, if everything is healing properly, more intensive physical therapy would start. This is where Seth would begin rebuilding the strength in his back and core muscles. For a professional wrestler, this phase is crucial but also frustrating because you're working hard but nowhere near ready to return to action. The typical recovery timeline for this type of surgery is anywhere from 6 months to a full year before an athlete can return to full contact competition. And that's if everything goes perfectly. There's always the risk of complications, setbacks, or the need for additional procedures. For someone like Seth Rollins, whose in-ring style is incredibly athletic and physical, the recovery might even need to be extended to ensure he's 100% ready. The last thing anyone wants is for him to return too early and re-injure himself, potentially causing permanent damage. During this time off, we can expect Seth to remain visible in some capacity. WWE typically keeps injured stars in the public eye through social media, occasional backstage segments, or commentary appearances. Seth is too valuable to just disappear completely, even if he can't wrestle. There's also the mental and emotional challenge of being sidelined. For someone like Seth who lives and breathes this business, being forced to sit on the sidelines and watch is torture. But it's necessary for his long-term health and career longevity. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room: what does WWE do without Seth Rollins? This is where creative has their work cut out for them, because Seth has been such an integral part of programming across multiple brands. If Seth has to vacate a championship, WWE needs to immediately pivot to a tournament or a number one contenders match to crown a new champion. This could actually create some exciting television, as it opens the door for someone new to step into that main event spot. But it also leaves a massive hole in terms of star power and proven performers. Think about all the potential feuds and storylines that were probably planned involving Seth. All of that has to be scrapped or reimagined with different people. That's not easy to do, especially in today's wrestling landscape where fans are so connected and storylines are planned months in advance. However, there's a silver lining here. WWE has been building up a strong roster over the past few years. There are talented performers ready to step into bigger roles. This could be the opportunity that launches someone's career to the next level. Sometimes injuries create opportunities, and whoever gets the chance to fill the void left by Seth Rollins could make a name for themselves. We might also see WWE accelerate certain storylines or call up talent from NXT earlier than planned. When a top star goes down, companies have to get creative and think outside the box. Some of the most memorable moments in wrestling history have come from these unexpected situations. From a business perspective, WWE will need to adjust their marketing and promotional plans. If Seth was scheduled for certain media appearances or events, those will need to be covered by other talent. Merchandise plans might need to shift. It's a domino effect that touches every aspect of the company. Despite all the uncertainty and concern, let's end on a positive note, because if there's one thing we know about Seth Rollins, it's that he's a survivor. This isn't even his first major injury. Remember when he tore his ACL, MCL, and medial meniscus back in 2015? Everyone thought his career might never be the same. But he came back stronger, faster, and better than ever. Seth has already proven he can overcome adversity. He's shown that he has the dedication, work ethic, and mental toughness to rehab from serious injuries and return to the top of the industry. There's no reason to believe this time will be any different. When Seth Rollins returns, and he will return, it's going to be a massive moment. Imagine the pop when his music hits after months away. Imagine the storyline possibilities. Imagine the dream matches that are still out there waiting to happen. Seth versus Roman at full strength. Seth in dream matches with younger talent. Seth chasing championship gold once again. The wrestling business needs Seth Rollins. He's one of the best performers of his generation, someone who can work with anyone and make them look like $1,000,000. He's a leader in the locker room, a mentor to younger talent, and someone who genuinely loves this industry. This surgery, while it's a setback, is also an investment in Seth's future. By taking the time to properly heal now, he's ensuring that he can perform at a high level for years to come. That's thinking long term, and it's the right decision even though it's a difficult one. And that's where we're at with the Seth Rollins situation, wrestling vs. family. It's a developing story, and you better believe we'll be keeping you updated with every new piece of information that comes out. What are your thoughts? Drop them in the comments below. How should WWE handle Seth's absence? Who should step up in his place? And what match do you want to see when he returns? If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe to Wrestling Verse for the latest news, rumors, and analysis from the world of professional wrestling. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. I'm signing off, but remember, stay locked into Wrestling Verse, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.